the top international and Filipino stories this previous year and fashion hits and misses of 2010. A few days after Christmas, a few days before New Year's, and Kababayan LA starts right now. And I must have gained maybe about 10 pounds over the weekend. Pero okay lang po yan because Christmas is all about family togetherness, about getting together with different relatives, and about eating, of course. Pero a few days after Christmas, now we gear up toward the new year. What were the top stories in 2010? We're going to be reviewing that all this week here on Kababayan LA, starting with today, Monday. Siyempre, pag Lunes, hindi po nawawala ang ating mga balita mula sa balita.
Pinoy na Pinoy, weekend balita.
And I feel so privileged that we have him with us today in the studio. Ronnie Ligo, Editor-in-Chief of Midweek and Weekend Balita. Hello and welcome to our set.
Magandang hapon sa iyo, Janelle. Sana naman maligayang Pasko mo at sa lahat po ng mga nanonood sa atin. At nabanggit mo na nga ngayon, pag-uusapan natin ang top stories of the year 2010.
Yes, you know, when we talk about 2010, napakarami po talagang nangyari. But we're going to be breaking that down today for you in two different categories. Yung top international stories and later on top Filipino stories. So let's start with the international stories. I think nothing's bigger than the
Haiti earthquake, January nangyari yan. In fact, there were 3 Filipinos who were killed in this earthquake. Isa nga lang ang who was repatriated, I believe her name was Mary Grace Fabian. Tapos yung isa naman is a UN personnel, he was a guy. Another lady, Likanan ang apelido niya, hindi na nga lang siya na-recover because of all the debris and all the things that happened in this. I believe she was a manager in one of the supermarkets in Haiti, so isa sa mga biktima yan. And of course, there are 230,000 deaths that occurred in this earthquake.
It was really, really big, and I remember it was in January when it happened, so we were only recovering from the holidays, no? Napakalungkot ng balitang yan, Ronnie. But another news story that was really also sad was yung oil leak naman sa Gulf of Mexico.
That's
but
true.
okay, comparing those two stories, Ronnie, parang sa Filipino community, hindi masyadong naging impactful yung oil leak sa Gulf of Mexico. Why do you think that is?
Kasi naman, hindi naman, bukod sa malayong lugar sa atin, wala rin masyadong mga Filipinos doon sa lugar na yon. However, this is something that, most conservatives think that because it was the Obama administration, it's like parang curse sa kanya, Pero this is something that really, the impact on the environment is so much that this is actually the biggest environmental disaster as far as oil is concerned in the United States. At nung panahon na election, drill baby drill, tapos ito hininto ni Presidente Obama ang supposedly na yung offshore oil drilling.
Yeah. And we're still feeling the effects of this oil leak sa Gulf of Mexico even months after, di ba?
That's true, no? Not to mention yung environmental impact sa nature, sa mga marshes doon sa Florida, mga beaches doon, pati yung tourist destinations impacted sila ng oil spill na ito.
And another environment-related story is yung Chilean miners. Of course, it's a story of triumph because they were rescued, but then it took a while before they were rescued, right?
33 Chilean miners, hope, faith, and everything, prayers ang ginawa ng mga Chilean families na actually the whole world was watching them, 69 days actually for these rescuers to rescue the miners who were trapped deep within this mining site na ito.
And I'm sure very inspiring yung kanilang mga stories of survival. I mean, how do you survive for 69 days? Many meters or miles even below ground level.
Magaling talaga yung leader nila, He rationed the food, supposedly konti lang ang supply na yan, pero they were able to keep their hopes alive. Tapos ang maganda nito they were even supplied by food, and meron silang television and everything, all the entertainment, and to keep them busy while they were still there waiting underneath the earth.
Oo, kasi distracted and entertained kailangan yan. Otherwise, they would have lost hope, they would have given up, and it's easy to just give up when you're in a situation like that. Meanwhile, also not giving up are the immigration groups now na talagang it created a big story.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the Arizona Governor Jan Brewer, who started an immigration bill that allowed police personnel to stop any person and verify their immigration status. Ronnie, big outrage from the community.
That's true. This happened in April, no? When that was signed, no? Lahat tayo, kahit na yung mga tao, mga taga California, they were afraid of going to Arizona. Not only that, we boycotted,
Yes.
businesses coming from Arizona, no? Los Angeles mayor declared pati yung council and everything. So this is something that I guess really highlighted the immigration problem, not only in Arizona, California, but the whole of the United States. There are supposedly 11 to 12 or even 20 million illegal or undocumented immigrants in the United States. So hopefully, yung DREAM Act na supposedly na magbibigay ng residency sa mga young students who were brought here
by their parents without their knowledge.
Hindi rin yan pumasa. So although President Obama he's promising, he vowed that the immigration reform will happen in his term, hopefully.
So, aabangan natin yan.
Right.
And of course, itong immigration bill na to sa Arizona, we reported about this, that it looks like California might be following in that footsteps as well. So,
a California congressman is actually proposing that, from San Francisco, and he wants that, the Arizona bill will be patterned also to, the state of California.
Right.
So, tingnan natin kung ano mangyayari dyan.
And this congressman from San Francisco, it's so ironic because San Francisco is a haven of illegal undocumented immigrants because of Mayor Gavin Newsom, diba? He's so welcoming to them. Okay, we're going to be following that also, spilling over to 2011. And finally, Ronnie, this is the pride of all Filipinos all over the world. Manny Pacquiao actually made it as top boxing story of Sports Illustrated 2010.
That's true,
Yes.
no? 8th title, so far.
13 win streak.
Yeah, win streak.
Yeah.
And he beat Antonio Margarito. Alam naman natin, he really beat up the bigger and the heavier guy. Well, of course, we were all hoping that he would go up against Floyd Mayweather Jr. No, I don't know if that's gonna happen. And now he's going up against Shane Mosley. I believe May 7th. That will happen in Las Vegas.
In Las Vegas. What do you think about that? Alam niyo po, hindi niyo naitatanong itong si Ronnie is pseudo and semi boxing expert. Napakahilig po nito talaga sa boxing. I remember when I was still covering, no?
Yeah.
He would always give me tips on covering these boxing matches. Okay, 39 years old, Shane Mosley versus 31-year-old Manny Pacquiao, bigger Shane Mosley, smaller Manny Pacquiao.
Right. Modesty aside, there was like 3 years ago, Shane Mosley came up to me and he said, in a post-fight conference, Ronnie, I want to fight Manny Pacquiao now. He said, so that, I was taken aback and I had to ask Manny Pacquiao's coach, Freddie Roach, about that. And they were suddenly surprised that suddenly, Shane Mosley wants to fight Manny Pacquiao, who was then, I think, the fight was against Morales that he won. Manny Pacquiao won. And then they were saying that Shane Mosley was too big for him, too heavy, so it's not gonna happen. That was 3 or 4 years ago.
And then after that, a few years later, I was interviewing him naman, and I said, when are you going to fight Manny? Because he's been challenging Manny. And then he said, all of a sudden, he's too big. So, and then now they're fighting, I suppose they're fighting. We're going to be talking about a lot about that more still when we return on the show. Also, top stories from the Philippines. Don't go away.